What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tita's here today, and I know, you might be thinking to yourself, wow, Titus, another shard pull video? Getting a little lazy there, aren't you? And yes, kind of. I mean, here's the thing. Summon pull videos, stuff like that, they're easy for the channel. They allow me to put out content when my schedule is busy, and realistically, you guys like to watch this stuff. At least that's kind of what it seems like. And more importantly than all of that, I just like to pull. I do in fact kind of enjoy the gamba. What can I say? And with the 11th anniversary going on, there has been so many scrolls being thrown at you that I just did over 200 pulls, and now, as you can see here, we're over 300 pulls easily. So I kind of, today's schedule is a little bit busy in my personal life, and so I figured give you guys another pull video to hold you over. And tomorrow I will be putting out a video where I talk more in depth about kind of my first week experience with Summoner's War, what I like and what I don't like. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get into these pulls, because honestly, I've been wanting to pull these as I get them, but I thought to myself, you know what, Titus, why don't you just relax and, pull on camera? So as you can see here, I don't know what the difference is. It just says new monster rate up. You can summon the monster listed below with a slightly higher chance with special summons. And I guess that's just on all the time. Like if I just click that, it doesn't seem to change anything. So let's go ahead and get it, and let's get into it. So we'll do some of the single pulls first, and then we will do full 10 pulls. So just blitz through this. We're getting a lot of 3 stars. That's okay. We have gotten some pretty good pulls, and I appreciate you guys in the comments kind of telling me about some of the, okay. All right. We actually have Vertihill, and we have him fully booked out. That was one of the things that I noticed a lot of, the strategies in the dungeons, like the little strategy button. I noticed that Vertihill is in a lot of teams, and so I actually ended up using him as one of the free, I guess, as the beginner events. You get to choose a 4-star, and you just get it fully awakened and max starred. And actually, I don't know if it was max starred, but it was awakened. So I chose Vertihill because he seemed really good. He's basically like the fire gunslinger, where he's just constantly increasing turn meter, which is really, really good. So nice to have a second one. I don't know if I'd build a second one, but we'll see, right? So we'll get into our first 10 pull, and we got ourselves a blue tax. That's all right. Martial Artist, Griffin, Werewolf, Golem, Lizardman, Battle Mammoth, Mystic Witch, Werewolf, another blue tax. That's kind of a shame. Now, the thing is, you guys have kind of memed on my luck a bit, but I have...
Look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Never mind. I guess the meme continues. Draken Warrior. Oh my God, look at this guy. He's absolutely stunning. The hair. Mwah. So what do we got here, right? A1, attacks to enemies 2 times to decrease defense for 2 turns with 30. Okay, so defense break on A1. He looks like, so he's a defensive based nuker. The first hit disturbs, so block healing, and the second hit absorbs action bar by 20% from targets with harmful effects. Okay, so he attacks all enemies. On the first hit, he's getting HP. He's putting HP block healing, and then on the second hit, he's basically getting a whole other turn, right? Because there's no percentages tied to this, and so the first hit puts out the healing debuff, and then the second hit absorbs action bar, which kind of means that he's just gonna cycle that turn again. And then we've got goes under the threat state while the enemies attack with a single target skill 3 times. What? Goes under the threat state while the enemy's attacks all enemies to deal damage proportionate to your defense, granting the silence effect for 2 turns and decreasing their action bar by 30%. Huh. I'm gonna look at his info real quick. And yeah, it looks like arena. And I kind of, it makes sense. I kind of figured he sounded like an arena guy when I read that last effect. Although Rift Dungeons, it seems like he also can be slotted into some teams. So, okay, not bad, not bad. Another 5-star for the channel. You know, it's, of course, as soon as I open my mouth and say, guys, really, I'm not that lucky. You know, you guys don't understand. And then I immediately pull a nat 5. So, you know, it do be that way. Inugami, couple Bearman, a Rune Blacksmith, a Sylphid, a Ninja. Okay, we got a pretty good 10 pull right there. We've got, so with this, we've got, I think we're just waiting for the Fire Ninja, and we'll have all of the Elemental Ninjas. We also chose, they're doing a hero thing for one of the events, and the first champion I chose was the Light Ninja. I kind of did a little bit of research on Nat 4 LDs, and it seemed like he was fairly high on that list. And I also just kind of like the way he looks. We got another Rune Blacksmith. I remember her for sure with her incredibly confusing kit, but you know, and then we got Sylphid. So not bad. Not bad. So she's the light version of Tyron, maybe, right? Because is Tyron a base Sylphid? I can't remember. The evolution mechanic kind of trips me up a little bit in trying to remember all the who's of what. I will admit it does trip me up a bit. All right, we got Water Kung Fu Girl. So I'm pretty sure now we pretty much have all of the Kung Fu girls too. Let's see, what's your use case? Okay, it looks like actually a lot of these the Rift dungeons is where her most use cases are. So that's good, because I don't mind getting a lot of really good PvP monsters, but you know, right now, especially in the early game for new accounts, your biggest focus is getting through the PvE content, right? So you can get the really good gear to at least try to compete in PvP, right? So martial artists, Apiki and Frankenstein's new. We got the Water Frankenstein for the first time. Now, the nice thing is that also during this 11th anniversary event, you're getting refunds on scrolls. So we're going to have even more scrolls at the end of the video after we spend all of these scrolls. It's Summoner's War. Seems like I chose the perfect time to try this. And I will say, I did not plan that. I did not do any research or anything like that about Summoner's War. I just decided to boot it up and try it. And it looks like we just got lucky with trying it at the perfect time, because they are throwing so many summons at you. We got Robo. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't mind the designs of kind of these mech monsters. I feel like they don't really match the aesthetic that most of the game is going for, and that's just kind of a minor thing, but you know, I'm just saying. Revives in a nuclear state with 1 HP at the moment of death and grants invincible for 1 turn. In a nuclear state, you gain immunity. Oh, is this self-destructs, inflicts damage proportional to your max HP on all enemies? You will be defeated after this attack. And then according to your max HP, and then this revives in a nuclear state with 1 HP at the moment of death and grants invincible. In nuclear state, you will gain immunity against all harmful effects, recovers 25% HP every turn, returns to originals. Okay, so he's kind of like Water Sphere Sage, where you just constantly blow up and then revive, blow up, revive. I imagine, yeah, this is very much a PvP thing, right? Because ideally, this is kind of a build around me kind of ability, right? Where you completely stack HP, explode, and then you have like a healer or something who can, so you can constantly cycle that A3 or A2. All right, dope. Not bad, not bad. Let's get another 10 pull going. Elemental, Harg, Inferno. All right, we didn't get none. No 4 stars on that one. Let's see, another 10 pull, and we got another blue tax. Hate to see it, but you know, that's life sometimes. RNGesus doth giveth and taketh away. All right, and on our final 10 pull, we got Boomerang Warrior. Okay. Attacks the enemy to stun the target for 1 turn, increase the harmful effect. Oh, this is Chakram Dancer. Or does she pair with Chakram Dancer? I'm so confused. Because Chakram Dancer, I have the water one. She got the little veil on her face. So is this just you pair with Chakram Dancer? Let me see. Where are our use cases? Zenobia and Melissa. Okay, so these are paired monsters. Because this is the Wind Chakram Dancer. I recognize the little diamond on the forehead. And of course the little chakram in the abilities helps too, right? Mm-hmm. So these are like a paired we have those in Raid too, some monsters that pair with other monsters. So Zenobia, and then she Boomerang Warrior's attacks will also ignore. Okay, yeah. So these are now, I guess the next question is, do they need to be the same element in order to work with each other? I imagine you would prefer them to be the same element because you're going for an affinity bonus, you know, because this is the Rift of Worlds. This looks like the ice dragon or ice monster guy, whatever. So I'm imagining you want the positive affinity, but it doesn't specify that they need to be the same element. So I would say maybe not. And then we got Choco Knight. We got Water Choco Knight, and now we got Fire Choco Knight. Attacks additionally if your HP is at 70% or above when you attack an enemy on your turn. Okay, so you're getting extra attacks as long as you're healthy. As the cocoa content is increased, Bitter Strike will attack all enemies. You will be immune to inability. More cocoa gets dismissed when you take 50% of your... Okay. And then this is just the attack bar decrease with a 50% chance, which becomes an AoE on an A2. So, and you get additional attacks if you're full health, which means this would strike twice, which is almost a full turn meter removal. Yeah, okay. You've reached the max. Yeah. We know. Okay. All right, so we've got all of our mystical scrolls summoned. Now, my next question is, do I want to do the 11 years next, or do I want to do the base element scrolls? Let's do the base element scrolls and get those out the way, shall we? So we have that check marked. So if we get the new guy, that'd be pretty cool. We got another Wind Kobold Dancer. Or Bomber. We now have 3 of these guys, which is cool because we can feed them to skill up, and that's nice. Drunken Master. Let me see. Let me use the F key, actually. It'd be a lot easier. Apician Priest. Werewolf. Elven Ranger. We get like one more nat 4. One more nat 4 out of this. I'd be very happy. Minotaurus. Well, it wasn't a nat 4, but that's life sometimes. So now we're going to move on to our fire scrolls, and we actually have enough for these to actually do a proper 10 pull. So we'll do a proper 10 pull. Werewolf, Penguin Knight, Charger Shark, Undine, Inugami. Okay. I've seen somewhere people saying that Undine is actually not good and should be fed. I don't know what that means because you don't skill up if you feed enough, but I guess just use her as like a 4-star chicken or not chickens. They're not chickens in this game, Titus. Rainbow Mon. There we go. Trying to remember the names, you know, because there's so many things that carry over from a lot of these gacha games, and it's so hard not to want to use the verbiage of the game that you're native from, right? That is kind of the one that's mostly ingrained in your brain because it's the one you spent the most time with. But we're going to do another 10 pull, and don't blue tax me. Don't blue. Okay, we got Sylph. We have Sylph, but funnily enough, we've already maxed out Tyron. So I don't know what I would do with this Sylph. I guess I would just use him as fodder. Is there a lot of use cases? Let me know in the comments below. Is there a lot of use cases for building multiple characters? Because There is in raid for sure. There's definitely some champions where if you have two of them, you will run two of them, but they're usually it's a very specific scenario for that to happen, right? All right, so moving on, we've now got 141 11-year special scrolls. So let's do the 1 pull. We get Oh, these 11-year scrolls can have LDs in them. Huh. I don't know why I didn't even consider that. I kind of thought that they would just be like regular mystical scrolls, but no. Oh, okay. Well, that changes things a bit. I mean, it doesn't really change anything, but it changes my expectations a little bit. Griffin, magical archer. We got a blue mermaid. We got a 5-star.
Here comes the money.
Oh, and we got an LD 5-star. Let's go. The luck continues. Titus the meme. We got Dark Sky Dancer. Now everyone in the comments could be like, yeah, but she sucks. Take that, Titus. Still got an LD 5. So, and I feel I do genuinely feel bad because I've read comments where people are like, oh man, it took me 5 or 6 years before I got my first LD Nat 5. And here I am in my first week. The legend continues, I guess. Attacks with a graceful touch and possesses the enemy with a 30% chance to increase. Okay, so it's just glancing. I noticed that they do. I don't mind the flowery words that they use to describe the abilities, but some of them kind of like make me think the ability is going to do something that it's not going to do. Like I read possesses, and I think to myself, oh, okay, now I get to take control of somebody's enemy champion. No, it's just fun language. Recovers the allies. Okay, recovers the allies by 20% of my So is Sky Dancer talking to me? Recovers the allies by 20% of my max HP and increased attack power for 2 turns. Dagger of Grudge. Attacks with a secretly hidden blade 4 times to inflict damage that ignores all beneficial effects that reduce the inflicted damage. The damage also increases as your HP status decreases, so the lower health you get, the more damage you start dealing. Is this another PvP mon? And it looks like, yeah, pretty much exclusively a PvP mon. Now, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, because you guys would be very upset if I did, but a Nat 5 that's solid for PvE at the moment would have been nice. The recovery amount is proportional to the... Oh, okay. Recovers the HP. Okay, so you're going to build her as a nuker, but she recovers HP. Okay. All right. Oh, she's a 28% speed lead. Oh, I hadn't even... Oh. Oh, she's a 28 Oh. I hadn't even noticed. Oops. RP. Okay, yeah, all of these like regular dungeons that nobody really cares about. Super easy. Not to spoil anything, but I've already finished all 10 of these stages because they're built to be super easy, right? Because you just need the equipment to open up to awaken champions. But yeah, so we got our first LD5. Now, the question is, can we continue our element fission luck and pull another one? We also got Water Mermaid. I guess I never pulled her before. Reduce the time of all harmful effects. Granted on all items in 1 turn. Okay. And then this just happens every turn. So that's pretty nice, actually. And then remove. So yeah, she's just a cleanser. She is just a straight up cleanser. That is she's a cleanser and a buff stripper. Okay, well, those are always useful somewhere. You know what I mean? Again, it looks like a lot of arena stuff is where she's going to be most useful for, but let's get another 10 pull going and I'll muse on my Nat 5. We got an LD bounty hunter. Okay, and we got assassin. Water assassin. Use case. Mostly PvP, but it looks like there is some Rift of Worlds stuff going on. Okay. Okay. And what are our abilities looking like? Decreased defense on the A1. Brandon's silence on the A2. And for each attack, the number of strikes will increase up to 7 according to your attack speed. And absorbs 15 times 7. Okay, yeah, so you're basically fully absorbing their turn meter. And then if you kill them, it doesn't. Oh, I'm surprised she's not used in TOA then, right? Because basically, if you pump her with enough attack speed and attack damage, and she just spams A3 and just kills everybody, right? And if you could put like a decrease, like you already have someone who's placing like an AoE decreased defense and maybe an AoE brand or something like that, and she just shreds through people, right? That kind of seems like the use case. We also got LD Charger Shark. What's your usage? Arena as Calicus. All right. And we have LD Bounty Hunter, who is a Rift of Worlds guy. Jamie removes the harmful effects on all allies, increased attack power for 3 turns. Okay. All right. Well, let's get another 10 pull, shall we? Bounty Hunter, Martial Artist, Dark Yeti. We need for somebody. I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the fusions they wanted. They want Dark Yeti. And I don't know how useful Dark Yeti is outside of nowhere. Okay. So yeah, we need a Dark Yeti for fusion. I think it's for Ifrit, or I see him a lot in a lot of the dungeon strategies. And he was a dark. I think you get a copy for free, but I think you can also fuse him, and so that's nice. We got Dark Brownie Magician. Bounce towards the enemy to attack and gets another turn with a okay. Right, this is the ant cannon, right? This is, I believe the Brownie Magicians were kind of like the ant cannons where their A1s are all like 20% chance to get an extra turn. Increased attack power and critical rate of all allies. Gains another turn with a 20% chance afterwards. Attacks all enemies to remove the harmful effect and beneficial on the enemies with an 80% chance. Each enemy is put to sleep for the number of turns equal to the number of effects removed. Got you. We have someone like that too. Her name is Seer, but she's removing all beneficial. She's removing all buffs off of allies and enemies for a massive nuke. We also got Dark Harg. Increase the ally attack speed on a 7-turn cooldown. Okay, cool. Black Tea Bunny we already had a copy of, and now we have another copy of to book her up. Not bad. Let's get another 10 pull going. Oh, okay. All right. So we got some stuff here. We got Light Serpent. What's your use cases? None. Nobody uses you. Oof. You hate to see it. We got Light Hypno Meow. We had the wind one, and now we have the light one. Right. This is the you go to sleep. You can use skills while sleeping. Your attack speed is increased by 30%, recovers HP of all allies by 20% when you use a skill while sleeping. In addition, decrease HP of the enemy, then you're right, and then removes sleep from all allies except yourself. If you get a turn while sleeping, in addition, recovers HP of all allies while sleep is removed. Right. Okay, not bad. Let me guess, this guy's like a PvP monster, right? Or at least is used in PvP. Yeah, it looks like arena defense. You build him up with either speed or HP. And I'm guessing, yeah, he is just the Hypno Meows remind me of the bears from Element Fission. Now we've got Lich. I will say I ran into Lich in the Labyrinth, and oh my god, that passive was so annoying. This one doesn't look, or maybe he changes. Punisher's Crypt Abyss. Uko. Increase the shield every turn to absorb incoming damage proportionate to your level. Decrease the attacker's attack speed for 1 turn if you're attacked when you have the shield, and counter attacks with deadly touch. Okay, so it wasn't this version. There was another version where their passive was like, if you drop below 50% health, you get a turn of invincible, and then you attack on the end of every single enemy's turn and heal for the. It was an insane looking kit. I mean, of course, I have light cowgirl, and so we just stripped the buff and he died. But it did actually ruin one of my runs because I didn't have anybody with buff strip. And when I came back like 5 minutes after setting the auto, I had enough healing on my team to keep them alive. But this guy would not, there was 2 of them and they would just not die. So very interesting. Okay. And then we have the elemental wolves here, which I've actually just been slowly building every single one of them because I've actually seen that most of them are pretty good. So, I'm kind of relying on the community to tell me what's good because like I said, I don't really know. All right, another 10 pull. We're getting pretty lucky with the LDs. LD Lizardman, Harpu, Inugami, Black Tea Bunny. Okay. So we've got both the light and the dark Lizardman. We could put together an entire 5-element Lizardman team. I don't know if we should. Probably not, but we could. All right, we got Harpu. Where are we at with you? So Dimension Hole, obviously, because that's how you evolve them. Necropolis, that's actually an interesting use case. We did just, I think we're on Necropolis 8 or 9 right now. And we've been kind of steady chuggling. We've been chuggling along, but building him out was this is the, okay, yeah. And then this is the light Griffin, not Bernard, but Shaman. All right. Not bad. Any other people with some use cases? Black Tea Bunny. What about you? My Nat 4. All PvP stuff. Like I said, I don't mind getting PvP mons. And it seems like Summoner's War at the end of the day is a more PvP focused game. Me personally, right now I'm doing the PvE stuff. I'm working my account through. Fire Dryad. We have the wind one. We actually have 2 copies of the wind one. Attacks an enemy, absorbs attack bar by 15. Okay. Honeybees will transfer all harmful effects granted on the allies to the target enemy, recovers HP. Okay. This is definitely a PvP. This is a go second PvP person. Attacks on enemies to decrease their beneficial effect duration by 2 turns each. Increases the beneficial effect duration of all allies by 1 turn and increase their action. Okay, so this is, let me guess, this is pure PvP, pretty much. Oh, I like that. What would you call it? You would call this like, if this was Magic, I do play a lot of Magic as well. We would call this like Rainbow Dryads. Just grab as many colors of the Dryads, put them all on the same team. That's actually kind of funny. I imagine that's more of a meme team, but I like memes. Who doesn't like memes? All right, who else would we get? Nobody really in this 10 pull. All right, next 10 pull. We got Light Harpy, Wind Samurai, Dark Mystic Witch, another Dark Inferno, and a Light Bear Man. Okay. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. He can be used in Kairos Dungeon. Wow, what is this team? This team looks stacked as hell. Oh my word. Now we got Light Harpy, and she becomes Kabila. And she is also pretty much exclusively used in PvP sometimes. And I imagine a lot of these monsters aren't actually used PvP a ton. It's just they don't really have a place in PvP, and then most people like to try and experiment, or they don't have a place in PvE, and most people do like to experiment with PvP. Mystic Witch, we've got Dark Mystic Witch becomes Gina, and looks like her use case is Steel Fortress. All right, trial. Okay, TOA. Yep. Okay, so she's a TOA and Steel Fortress. What do we got? Attacks all enemies 4 times by summoning thorny bushes and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with a 60% chance each. The last attack additionally puts them to sleep for 1 turn. Ooh. Covers all enemies with poison to remove 1 beneficial effect, inflicting damage and preventing from receiving beneficial effects for 1 turn. Okay. And then more okay, so tons of continuous damage, sleep, buff strip. Gotcha. Not bad. Light Bear Man, you got any use cases? We didn't really look at you. Oh, you're in the dimension hole. You look like you're in a that looks like a spooky one. That must be one of those higher end ones. Amon. Recovers all allies by 20% my max HP if you get a critical hit when you attack on your turn. If you get a crit, oh, so when you crit. Oh, this is kind of like the Light Giant from Element Fission. This is basically Light Giant. Gotcha. Okay. Not bad. And to be fair, like,
you can't keep getting away with it.
Hey, let's go, guys. Well, the memes continue. We got the brand new champion. We got Beetle Guardian. Decrease the damage that all allies receive by up to 35%. Increase the damage you deal to enemies in proportion to your defense. Okay, that sounds really good. Increase the defense of all allies for 2 turns and goes under the threat state while enemies attack with a single target skill 2 times. Wow, that's a lot of work. That's a lot. Increase the defense of all allies for 2 turns and goes under the threat state while enemies attack with a single target skill 2 times. Enemies, excluding the boss, can only attack the target under the threat state when used. Okay, so this is like, it's like Taunt and Raid. It's a buff on you that essentially is kind of like Provoke. Attacks the enemy to remove 1 beneficial effect with a 50% chance. This attack will deal more damage according to your defense. And of course, he can be evolved. No use case because nobody really knows where to go with this guy, right? I'm assuming a lot of people don't have him, so people don't really know what to do with him. I'll have to check him later. I really want to check out what his awakened state looks like. Damn. Well, I guess, and the legend continues. And we got another Dark Lizardman, but wow. Okay, so not bad. We got another Boomerang Warrior. We got Dark Griffin, Light Elemental, Dark Vagabond. Wow, we got a lot of LDs in this pull. Holy crap. Griffin, I don't know who you become, but it looks like you don't have a ton of use cases. Varus, nice. I like that little Roman call out there, a little shout out. Vagabond, we got use cases for you, mostly PvP, and of course the dimension hole where you get second away. So Jubel, decrease the chance of receiving critical hits by 2. Okay, attacks the enemy with a humiliating strike to provoke the target. Okay, so a bit of a disruptor in arena, it would seem. Light Elemental, I haven't seen the high elementals become the Undines. No, the Undines are Nat 4s. Evens the HP ratio with the allied target with the worst condition and then recovers the allies HP at the start of each turn. Not bad. You like to have healing stuff on passives. That's always nice because, you know, it's just happening every time. So the faster you go, the more you can get that to happen. Tectonic Shift strikes the enemy with an attack strong enough to split the earth, inflicting significant, ignores HP, and then recovers HP by 15%. Right, so after you equalize your health, then you're smacking with this to heal yourself. And then continuous damage. I noticed this game really loves giving people continuous damage, right? Like the dots and stuff. I noticed this game absolutely loves giving people dots on their A1s. It's kind of crazy. I don't mind it, but it is kind of crazy. Man, we got quite a few interesting Donna. All right, well, let's get ourselves another 10 pull to go. Imp Champion, that's new. We got both the light and dark versions, not bad. We got a light Minotaurus there too. Elemental, Beast Hunter, Brownie Magician. Okay, we're collecting all of the Brownie Magicians. We're gonna have all of them, right? More Ant Cannon shenanigans, taking another turns and all that stuff. Okay. Enemy 4 times a grant. Remove 2 beneficial effects. Stun. Decrease defense. Okay. All right. And then we got Dark Bounty Hunter. Use cases. Pretty much always PvP. Right. So if they don't have a PvE designation, I imagine most of these are going to be PvP. They're going to have a little bit of people have dabbled with them in PvP. All right. We got Dark Bear Man. We got Dark Grim Reaper. And we got Wind Taoist. Wind Taoist. What do you got? Increase the resistance. Decrease attack power. This attack will also increase the okay, so decrease attack power and glancing if it's a crit. Attacks enemy 2 times with the sandstorm. So okay, so action bar decrease. More action bar decrease. Oh, set to 0. In addition, decrease the skill cooldown. Oh, some cooldown reset stuff. Love that. I think that might be the first person we have that actually can do something like that. Not bad. Not bad. All right. I definitely could see. Yeah. So for like speed teams and stuff, I imagine it kind of feels like he would be on a speed team, much like Turtle Tank in Boxing Club. But being able to reset ally cooldowns by 1 skill is always a useful thing to have. And I don't think we had anybody who could do that. But then again, like I said, it's hard with a lot of the Nat 3s because I feel like the bestiary is not super intuitive. And so it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. Well, we got PvP pretty much and TOA. Why? What do you do when you're fully here? Meteorites of Doomsday fall on the enemies that inflict, and the inflicted damage increases with time. Huh? Stuns a target for 1 turn and recovers your action bar by 20% each if the enemy is under continuous damage. This is putting continuous damage and giving you another turn. And then this is cycling if you kill somebody. Okay, so I imagine, right, so you A2, cycle into A3, then you immediately get another turn where you A1 and then you A2, A3. Okay, wow. Yeah, so you're cycling turns super fast. And I see right here, this is like a poison team, right? Where, yeah, okay. I wonder if I could, I've been able to, nope, spoilers today. All right, let's stop flapping our gums and get more pulls because this is going to be like another hour-long video. All right, we got Mercenary Queen, Light Bounty Hunter. So we've got like both LDs for Light and Dark Bounty Hunter. We got Mercenary Queen. Wow. That's a design. That's a design I've seen one. Attacks the enemy, decreases defense, continuous damage, and decrease attack bar. Okay, so turn meter pushback. And then more continuous damage and attacks the enemy once. Oh, speaking of Boxing Club, or yeah, this dungeon, we have another exploder. Huh. Okay. Yeah, and we have a better affinity. So we actually did try to put together a team, but Tatu just kept dying. She just kept getting her fade, absolutely ran. And so we kind of moved away from using that kind of poison explosion team, but Astrid is a better affinity. So I imagine we could probably get a decent speed team going with her. All right, 10 more pulls. Let's go. Barbaric King, Light Griffin. Okay, we were just talking about Light Griffin. We got Dark Magical Knight and Light Nine-Tailed Fox. Wow, that was a pretty good pull. Along with Fire Barbaric King. So continuous damage on the A1. Like I said, this game loves giving continuous damage on A1s. I don't know what it is. It's not that it's bad. It's just, I see it a lot. Throws an axe and stuns the enemy for 1 turn, disturbs the enemy. Okay, so this is going to be strikes the enemy with an axe. This attack will ignore all effects that resist death. Nice. So we have someone now who can attack, who can kill through invincible and unyielding, and goes berserk. And your use case is pretty much Surtur. Pretty much PvP. Not bad. Dark Magical Knight. What do we got here for usage? We got Dimension Hole. That's a weird one because I wonder why would Dimension Hole, because this Dimension Hole, oh, right, because you're trying to level up this guy. Gotcha. And then Necropolis Abyss. Not bad. Right, we actually did, I did see her in one of the teams, and now we also have we have Shaman, and we have her. We already have Rauk, and Crow, and now all we need is Water Cannon Girl, but we could probably sub out Water Cannon Girl for somebody else. So yeah, cool. Not bad. Griffin, we already know. Nine-tailed Fox, where do people use you? Let me guess, PvP? Some use cases for some rifts. Dimension and rift again. Okay. Hammy. And you are a support. You're stealing some effects, doing some healing, branding. That's not bad. And attack power, defense. Every time you use reincarnate. Where's reincarnate? Oh, I see. You instantly gain another turn after using. Oh, okay. So you use this turn, and then every time you do use this skill, you're gaining 50% increased attack and defense every time. Huh. So you could probably build her tanky, and then throughout right, and that's why she's so popular in the rifts, because they're more of. I imagine the rifts are much like the Colossi and other of the like abyssal dungeons, where it's more of a endurance test. And so, yeah, I could see that because you're getting defense and attack every time. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. We don't want that right now. So we have a legendary all attribute scroll. We got 2 legendary scrolls, 2 LD scrolls left, but we do actually get refunded on some of the scrolls we just pulled. So I'm actually going to go grab those, open those up, and then we'll get into the rare scrolls. All right, and we are back, and we actually were able to clear a couple of other events, so we actually have 27 scrolls. So let's get into some more pulls. We're gonna do the singles first. And if I just see 3-star, like I said, this video is getting really long, so I'm just gonna sprint through. If I see a 3-star, I'm just going to go on. All right, we got Fire Anubis. On each turn, grants a shield, which is equivalent to 20% of your HP that lasts for 2 turns on ally with the lowest HP ratio. Deals damage proportionate to your max HP to an enemy target and recovers 50% of the damage dealt as HP. The damage increases as the enemy's HP get lower, so a bit of a single target nuke. Attacks the enemy twice with each attack having a 30% chance to disturb the enemy. Okay. All right, so it looks like a big tough single target nuker. Not bad. What are we getting for this? So we're getting blue tax. We're getting a blue tax. Blue tax, baby. Let's go. So looks like those last pulls, nothing crazy, but that's fine. We also got one of each of these, so maybe we could pull another Beetle Guardian. That would be insane. That would I would never live it down. All right, we got a Fire Sky Dancer. We have the dark one now. Oh, now we have the fire one. Covers all allies. Dances to attack the enemy randomly and decrease the defense for 2 turns with a 30% chance each to increase attack power of all enemies. Oh, no. Sorry. Increase defense, but the attack power is guaranteed. In addition, increases the attack bar of allies every time you attack the enemy with defense decreased. Okay. Recovers all. Okay, so a little bit of a support here. Not bad. And then finally, our water scroll. And we got a water werewolf. So now we're going to do 4 more of these. Okay. All right. Well, it's not a Nat 5 LD. Okay. So, okay, fair enough. Mizuki attacks the enemy. So HP recovery disruption. And removing harmful and block them from removing. Okay, so block buffs and block removal, debuff removal. And then each hit grants continuous damage, has a 80% chance to block them from removing harmful effects for 2 turns. Okay. Actually, this also unironically, I know, I mean, listen, I'm a noob, so everything is, you know, Golem or Boxing Club, whatever. This unironically also looks like it would be really good for Boxing Club because she's not only putting continuous damage, but she's stopping it from being removed. Not bad. Not bad. Harpy. One more and then a 10 pull. We got Light Werewolf. So now I'm pretty sure we've gotten every version of werewolves. And our last 10 pull with these scrolls right now, and we get Dark Martial Cat. Okay. You know, I think at this point we can't really complain about not getting any more Nat 4s or Nat 5s. I imagine people are probably going to lose their minds when they watch this video, which would make sense. It is what it is. All right, so now we have more scrolls to pull. I've got 3 engraved summons to do, so I'm going to do those. We got Wind Frankenstein. We get Wind Frankenstein again. And Water Inferno. Okay, so everything aside, we've now got the last 4 or 5 rare scrolls. So let's start with just the regular LD scrolls. We get Dark Elemental, which is new. I thought we got Dark Elemental, but I guess not. Reflects 30% of damage of incoming damage for 3 turns and keeps your HP from falling under 1. All right, increase your attack power and critical rate for 3 turns. Action bar increase and continuous damage on the A1 if you get a crit. Let's pull our other one, and we got a Light Penguin Knight. Not bad. Not bad. So now the question is, which legendary scroll are we going to do? We're going to, you know what? We're going to do this one because this is all attribute. So we could get another Nat 5 LD. All right, let's go ahead and pull this. We get a Water Taoist. Attacks enemy for each attack has a 35% chance to remove 1 beneficial effect. Attacks all enemies 2 times with waves of water. Each attack is there to reduce attack speed. If the target already suffers an attack speed reduction, this attack will stun them for 1 turn. Okay, so basically you attack twice. The first one has a chance to, well, they both have a chance to reduce attack speed, but if the first wave hits and it reduces attack speed, the second wave also has a chance to stun. Not bad. Let's pull our next one, and we get another Fire Anubis. You love to see it. All right. We get Water Joker. We've gotten most of the Jokers at this point. I think we're just missing the light one. So we got Baby Joker. Now, final scroll of the video. Legendary, all attribute scroll. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hit the button. Not even gonna, I'm channeling, not even going to fast forward it. We get Fire Heart Magician, which we already had one of, and from what I understand, she's not even the best version of Heart Magician, but that is okay. Like I said, I think if we started complaining about our pulls now, I'm pretty sure people would hunt me down and beat me up because of how incredibly lucky we got with these pulls. I mean, we pulled what? We pulled, let me go to this one. So we pulled 1, 2, 3, 4. We pulled 4 Nat 5s today, including 1 LD Nat 5. So yeah. Don't think I'm in a position to complain. I'm pretty sure people will come beat me up if I even tried it. go ahead and pull. Let's go ahead and pull these out actually. And one thing I do want to do with you guys is I want to look at the evolved form of Beetle Guardian. So he becomes Gideon. Decreases the damage that all allies receive by 35% and increase the damage you deal to enemies by 100% proportionate to your defense. Now that is exactly the same. Increase the defense of all allies for 2 turns and goes under the threat state while enemies attack with a single target skill 2 times. Okay. Enemies excluding the boss can only attack the target under the threat state when using an attack skill. And that looks the same. So do Nat 5s not get that big of an increase to their kit when they evolve? Beneficial strip. Beneficial strip. Increase the defense of ally monsters with water by 50%. That's chunky. You know, I guess it might just be his max stats, right? 565, 622. Okay, so it might just be a what you call it, but man. What a absolute beefcake. Okay, yeah, see, it even says right there. So like, yeah, most people, some will get skills strengthened, stuff like that. He gets another bonus 25 resistance. Okay. What about you? Increase accuracy, increase basic stats, and become Solvark. So we've already read over your kit. What about, oh, this is, this monster is only available in awakened form. Got you. Oh, is this like a promotional monster? Is that what this is? That's got to be what this is, right? Did we look at your use cases? Not a ton. Not a ton. Maybe got ourselves a bit of a buns. Not super buns, right? We throw her in. We throw in big barbarian lady, and we could probably get a speed team of some sort, I imagine. Who else did we get? You. Okay, so honestly, another great pull session, guys. I mean, they absolutely come to us. I'd heard a lot of really bad things about, and I'm sure that a lot of the bad things I heard about them were true and probably do feel true if you've played the game for so long. But for me, coming in and only playing for a week, not even, and they're just showering you in pulls. Now, I understand that this wouldn't be happening if, at least the LDs wouldn't have happened if I wasn't playing during the event, and I got extremely lucky. So that seems to be part of the course for our channel. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you find these videos entertaining? Love to hear from you. If you've made it all the way through the video, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. It helps me grow it. And it means a lot to me to have you guys out and show that love. I don't even know what to say at this point. So until next time, guys, I've been Titus, and I'll catch you.